So this hat has three parts: the circle at the top, and the middle piece or the side, and the bottom, the brim. Okay, so we measure around the head from ear to ear. Alright. When what we get, we take away 2 off that, and then we divide by 6.28 to get the radius. Now it's this radius we're going to use now to form that circular piece at the top. That's 3.66. So we take our piece of paper, we fold it into 4. We're using the radius now. So we put at the tip there and we do like so. And we cut. So we now have the circle. That's the top part of the hat. So now we want to measure half of that circle. I'm using the string here. Then I'm going to be measuring the string. So I get 12. So I'm measuring now 12 inches for the length of the middle piece, and the width is 4. So I'm just cutting that piece out. So now this is the middle piece. So what I'm doing now, I'm folding this piece of paper into about 8 portions, 8 parts. You can fold it into 4, but I'm doing this into 8 parts, okay? Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to be cutting along those folded, those creased parts that I've just done. I'm just cutting, and I'm not going to cut it all off. I'm just going to cut it and let it leave a little piece at the top so that it can just hang on. So I am going now to be taking about 1 inch in between each cut. I'm going to use a sellotape, and I'm going to be taping down the paper so that it doesn't shift. Okay, so in between each space or each cut, I'm going to be leaving a little gap of 1/8 of an inch. I'm using the sellotape to hold it down. What I'm doing, I'm doing an extra 1/4 inch at the end, slanted, but it's not necessary. I was thinking of a big hat, and that's why I'm doing that extra 1/4 inch. But as you could see in the video, the hat was too large, so in future, no extra bit there at the end. So I'm just doing the outline now after I've done taped down everything. I'm making sure that I still have my 12 inches at the top, and then I'm gonna cut this piece out. Now this is the new middle piece now. Okay, this is what we're going to be using and we are going to be cutting our material. Now I've taken the bottom of the middle piece, the measurement of the bottom part. That measurement I'm going to be using now to get my brim, to get the length of the brim, and that's what I'm placing now on this new piece of material. Okay, I'm going about 3 inches wide. So this is the brim part. Remember, you're going to be adding your sewing allowance on both bottom and top and sides. 3/8 of an inch I think is good enough. Now I'm going to do the exact thing that I just did with the middle piece. I'm going to cut and spread it across, and I'm going to tape it down a new piece of paper. So I'm going to do 1/4 inch in between, because you can make the brim wide as you want it. Yeah, so you can do 1/4 inch. It depends on what you want here. It's not like the middle piece, when if you put that extra bit there, you might get the hat too big. But for the brim, you can get it wide as you want it. Okay, just checking to see that the top there is the same measurement that I've taken before. I'm just doing the outline now. Now that is a new brim, and this is what we're going to be using. Okay. Don't forget to add your sewing allowance, 3/8 of an inch. So you need 2 pieces of the rim and 2 pieces of the middle piece on one top piece. So you can just place the pattern on your material, and then you can pin them, and then you just cut them. So I'm just cutting the second piece now. So make sure you pin along there so that it doesn't shift while you're cutting. So remember we need 2 pieces, so cutting the second piece. Now this is the top part. As you can see, I've got my sewing allowance around it. I'll do the same thing for the lining. So this red piece here is the lining. I've got my rim there. We've got the middle piece or the side piece. Now we're going to make a notch in the center. This is important for when you're going to be attaching it to the top piece. Not that. Not that. Okay. So this is the center piece or the side piece, and this here is the rim. Remember to make your notches, mark it, it's important. So it should be the same length there, top and bottom. So the bottom of the side and the top of the rim, same length. Okay, so we've got the lining there and we've got the main part at the top here. So now we're ready to sew. So what do? You do your 3/8 of an inch sewing allowance and you stitch the sides up. You do the same thing for the lining. So I forgot to say that I have used fusible interfacing. I've ironed it down on the pieces, as you can see here, and then I marked it, marked the quarters. So now I've stitched the side here. I'm just pressing it out with my finger. Just press the seam flat before I attach it. Okay, so as you see here, I've attached it to the top, seam to seam, notch to notch. That's how it looks when it's pinned. So now we are going to stitch around it using 3/8 of an inch sewing allowance. Now I'm basing mine because it's much easier for me to base it down before I stitch it. So there it is now. I've basted it all around. I'm going to be clipping it. This helps with any puckering. We don't want it to be flat. We don't want any puckering around it, so we just clip all the way around. So this is what it looks like after I've stitched it together. And so I'm going to be top stitching the top now. I've done that. Now I'm going to be joining the rim now to the hat, seam to seam, notch to notch. We just stitch it all around, and then we pin it all around and then we stitch it. This is what it looks like after I've stitched it. I'm going to be clipping or cutting all around it. I'm going to be doing the same thing to the lining. This is what it looks like. You can see it's wrong side facing out. See how I've attached it? So wrong side is facing up. Okay, so that part there we're not going to stitch there. That's the part we're going to leave out for when we're turning it over. Okay. Now I'm clipping it again. So it's much easier when you clip it, you turn it over easier. This is what it looks like when it's turned over. And you just set it properly now, and you can iron around the edges or around the brim. Just press it down flat. Just use your finger to straighten it up. So now we're going to close off that part that we've left open. Okay, so we're pinning it first, and then we're just going to stitch around it all the way around the rim of the hat. So we're going to stitch around it, and we're going to make about 4 rows of stitches on the brim. So we leave about 1/4 inch in between each row. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's finished. There the rows are there. Okay, and then the hat is finished. This is what it looks like. I'm kind of satisfied with the end result. The only thing that it's a bit too big, so next time I won't be taking in the extra 1/4 inch extra. Bye. Thanks for watching.